On to something more controversial. We pair program all the time. We don't have a project with any less than 2 people, and if we need a bigger project, then we have 4 people. We don't have 3 people. We always pair 2 developers on one screen with 2 keyboards, so you can finish each other's sentences. There's no contention going on, and I think this is controversial for several reasons.
You have 2 developers working on the same piece of code, so a lot of people might say
that 50% efficiency, Sandro?
Exactly. Right. I mean, you could have 2 guys working on 2 separate parts of the system, and then they integrate at one point. But what you get with the pair programming is the consistent code review. I think the hardest parts of solving problems is coming up with architecture decisions, ones that are going to be kind of somewhat future proof and maintainable. And that's when pairing really comes in handy. You create quality software when you're working with another person sitting next to you.
Well, it's continuous design review. You'll hit, through a typical day, at least one design or architecture question, maybe a half a dozen, and you've got someone to bounce that off of immediately. And you're never stuck. You're never like, I don't know the best way to do this. You immediately say, well, what do you think, Sandro? The other thing it really helps with is staying on task. I know as a single programmer, it used to be really hard for me to get into the flow. I lived in cubicle land. I worked for the government, and I put my headphones on, and I try to keep people from stopping by. There's always someone coming by and saying, so, how's it going? You're a programmer, you're a creative type. You need to get in that flow state. You need to create that space to get in the zone with your code, and you're loading all of this context into your head, and you need to keep that rolling. It's much easier actually in a pair. People are less likely to want to interrupt a pair of people who are bantering and typing and working on something together. Or if you do get pulled away, or if you're not feeling it that day, you got your buddy right there saying, come on, man, let's write some code. Let's write some code. It's the same concept as like a gym buddy. You don't want to wake up, you don't want to go to the gym. Your buddy's going to call you, and drive you to the gym. Same for pair programming. I think that's about it for pair programming.
You never hit a hard problem and then want to go and check your email. You got your pair keeping you accountable.
Oh, that's the biggest thing, man. Right. Turn off Twitter, turn off iChat, turn off your email. I mean, your pair will keep drawing you in. How many times you hit a really hard problem and you're like, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to go check my email, see what's new here. See, I can manage that. It helps. They help you work through the hard problems. One other thing, we do the bullpen or war room idea. That's another agile practice where we work in pairs, but we have like 3 pairs to a room. We've got 3 war rooms. And so if you and your pair can't solve it, you just yell over the wall, or you yell, has anyone done X? I'm totally stuck here. And one of the other 15 people that's there or whatever, someone's probably done it.
Yeah.
How do you pair? What's the criteria for pairing developers? Do you pair the developers?
How do we choose who's going to pair? Who's ever available that day. If there's a certain technology that someone is an expert in, we'll throw them on that. But we do try to pair and keep consistency. One of the benefits of pair programming is you never have just one person who knows about a project. And clients love this because someone's sick, someone's on vacation, they know they got someone else with the equal amount of experience with their domain ready for it. So we will rotate people in and out, and not super fast, not on the time scale of days, but more on the time scale of months or half a project or whatever. But usually it's who's available.
Why don't you talk about how that ties into our hiring practices?
Okay. I want to make one more point before hiring. After a time, it doesn't matter who pairs with who, because you've got this notion of pair promiscuity. You're sharing all the viruses of your mind, so to speak, and everyone gets the same level of pool of knowledge after a while. Everyone's paired at some point with the smartest guy in the room or the smartest girl in the room. So it's a great way to educate your team and disseminate all that knowledge. For hiring practices, you're talking about the 1 week?
I was talking about that you can't fake a pair.
Oh, yeah. You want to do that one?
I don't know too much about it, but
all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, you take it, Ben.
Well, come up here so you can get on camera.
So,
by the way, Ben is our sales guy. He's a programmer who wears nice clothes now.
So we think the software hiring practice is kind of broken. So what we decided to do is that everybody has to come in and pair, because after 30 minutes of pairing, you can't fake it. There's a lot of people who can fake it on an interview, on a phone call, or whatever, but putting your fingers on the keyboard and pairing with somebody who actually knows it is the best way to kind of weed out those people that aren't being completely truthful in their resumes. So that's kind of how we've taken pair programming into the hiring practice.
Well, we have them come on site for a week. So there's no interview really. You program with us for a week, and then we know. We usually know after the first hour, but